Hello everyone. I'm back for a second short video today. After reviewing primary and secondary sources, I want to take a look at the primary source activity with you all to make sure you guys understand the steps you need to take to complete it. Um, I think that once you watch this video, you will feel a lot better about this activity. It requires a couple steps, but once you understand the steps, it is pretty straightforward. So, um, thanks for joining me. Let's take a look at the activity itself. So, this is the document that I created for you. It's a lot of text right here, right? Um, really, what you're doing is after you're reading the primary source, you're analyzing it. Analyzing is a big, fancy academic word, but really it just means breaking it down into its parts. And those parts can be very simple um, if you know what you're looking for. So that's what we're practicing here. Is we're practicing analyzing and breaking down a primary source into its parts. Um, this information right here should be helpful if you are having trouble understanding the questions. Okay, I put it up here because I didn't want it hiding at the bottom. Um, this is your academic language from the questions defined for you. So if you're having trouble understanding any of these words from the questions themselves, I gave the definition. I tried a plain and simple definition um, for you right here. Okay. As I note here, the reason that we're watching the documentary and studying these primary sources is I need you to have a foundation of information and knowledge about the early American Revolution in order to do the creative project that we'll be starting next week. Um, so hang in there. I know it's been a lot of academic work, but we need you to understand this information and have some knowledge about the early American Revolution in order for you to be successful with the next part. Um, so you can look forward to some more creative work coming up. Um, so these are the questions. So what you need to do is you need to choose one primary source that I have linked on Google Classroom. Um, these are this is a post on the mainstream. I keep moving it up to the top. I am using the stream to push out a lot of different information, to join small groups, to join tutoring. I keep pushing this up to the top because you need this to do the primary source activity. So if you're having trouble with it because you were looking for all the information under classwork and you're confused, you also need to check the stream to see resources that I'm posting sometimes. I'll work on trying to make everything in one place because I think that's been tripping people up is they can't find what they need to do the assignments. Um, so that's an area that I will be trying to improve in. Um, Here are your choices. Okay, if you're having trouble with this activity, I highly recommend that you do the olive branch petition. The reason I recommend that one is because it's on Newsela. And Newsela has that ability to lower or raise the difficulty of the text. Um, it will assign you either the middle higher level if you're in seventh or eighth grade, or the middle lower level of the text automatically. But after you read and take the quiz, you can adjust the level again. Um, that's how the Newsela system works. So after you read and take the quiz, you can lower the level again and read it at the lower level. So if you're having trouble at the level that is assigned to you, take the quiz, do your best, and then check out the lower level to read it at a level that is easier for you. Um, these sources, so all three of them are on well, olive branch petition is on New ZLA, and then the common sense excerpt and the speech, the Second Virginia Convention, for those people who are um, curious to challenge themselves a little bit with more difficult texts, are on Learn Actively. You do not need to read all of them. You only need to choose one, and then you're going to use that to answer the questions on your week's assignment. So, if you want the simplest, most straightforward one, I recommend choosing the olive branch petition. Okay, you can try with some of the other ones if you want a challenge for yourself. Those are aimed at middle school, and common sense is also appropriate for ninth grade or early high school. So after you've read the primary source, okay, you can do your best to read the primary source. The questions that I've given you are to help you break down the primary source. The questions are not that challenging. They're asking you for some basic facts and information about your primary source, and then a couple of them require some more critical thinking and comprehension of what you've read. Okay, the first question is, what is the title of the primary source document, and what type of document is it? Okay, the main types of text-based primary sources are these. So it's one of these. So figure out, is it a speech, a pamphlet, a letter, um, a petition? These are all text-based primary sources. So you tell me what it is and the title. Okay. The author of the primary source. Who wrote it? Okay. So a lot of this information, if you're on New ZLA or Actively Learn, is in the title or in the editor's note. Okay. So a lot of the information is here. So if you didn't read this part, you need to go back and read it so that you can get this important information. So who is the author of the primary source? That second question. What is the author's subject? If we're not sure what the word subject means, can go up here to the word bank or the glossary, sometimes we call them, and it says the subject is, what is the text about? Okay, so what is the author's subject? I just need to write a quick sentence saying, well, Continental Congress is writing about what's happening in the British colonies and asking the king to be more peaceful and take away the taxes. Okay. Time period. Okay, so you need to look for the time period, including the year and the month. There's a lot happening in 1775, 1776. The month is also important. So if we look here at the New ZLA one, it says right here in the first line in the editor's note, this is when they adopted the olive branch petition, July 5th, 1775. So for this question, you just put that information in a complete sentence right here. Okay? Do not forget, it says answer each of the following questions about your primary source with complete sentences. Who is the audience? How does this affect the message? So now this is the part that might require some critical thinking, but the audience itself should be a specific person. It's not kids who are reading it on New ZLA. The audience is also from the time period. So who is the audience for the olive branch petition? Well, it says it's directed to King George III. An audience for a primary source is a group of people or a person receiving a message. So the king is the one supposed to be receiving that message. So the King George III is the audience. The audience is King George III, and they changed the way that they write because they respect the king's authority. And then purpose also will require some critical thinking. Why did the author write this text? What is the purpose? You guys can figure that out. You guys are good critical thinkers. After you put in this information, ask yourself, why did the author write this text? What was the purpose of it? Okay, I'm hoping that this video and the primary and secondary sources video are useful for people who are having a hard time approaching this activity. You do need to get on Newsy or Actively Learn, read a text. Okay, you'll see that this one is even on the second highest level for, actually it's the middle level because there's a max, is only a few paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about 7 paragraphs. And if we go lower, let's see. If we go lower, it's less. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4. So, thank you for joining me again. I'll be available for tutoring today at 10 o'clock. So you can join me if you have more questions at that time. Thank you everyone for your hard work. If the work that I'm giving out is stressing you out, please know that it is okay to take a break and leave the work to come back to when you're ready. Even if it's not this week and you miss the deadline, it's okay if life is being stressful and I'm stressing you out more. It's okay to let things go right now. This is distance learning. We're all trying to figure it out together. I don't want it to be overly stressful. And we're going to be starting some creative work that should be more fun and interactive starting next week.